Somebody said to me during the intermission that I reminded him of Mark Rothko's painting, which I was surprised at. And I don't have a poem about Rothko, but here's a poem about Canaletto, and maybe it deals with the same thing. It's called The Real Surrounding on Canaletto's Venice. Turner ended dazzled. All he saw was the concentration of light. There is something to say besides Gloria all the time. Gloria. And Canaletto saw what else there is. There is with him a certain meticulousness. Windows are counted, cornices scrupulous, even reflections rectilinear. He set it down the way it is, as the phrase asserts it is, which, in a sense, is true. In a world of illusionists, he was prepared to repeat the terms of illusion just as they were, to treat the straightest fantasies as if he thought they were true, as he might have wanted them true. And there they are, facade and tower, dome and weather vane, just as they said they were. This house, and then this house, and this one next, all carefully rendered, recognizable, in back of what he meant we should see. He said, look at the emptiness. All this air, he said, it confronts us. This is what there is. He felt an urgency to paint it there as a positive presence, not as something gone. The real surrounding is a medium more than man can will, despoil, or even reckon with. It sets us free. The world is not our world, and what we make for a world is simply that. Not more, not less. Let be. And the emptiness, the space around us, we're lost in it. Its winds infuse our willlessness. It seems we are there by not being there. In the picture again, see how his boats and boatmen dissolve in the luminous air. I'll read you some 14-line poems from To Praise the Music. No way. You know, I am told my tenderness for you is for me, really. That if I treat you gently, I replace a harshness I suffered from, the roles reversed. Maybe. It is true, or at least it may be true. I don't care more for you than for myself. As little for you. What are we, you and I? Acknowledge what is real. That the tenderness is there as if without us it could still be there. We pay our homage to it. Not that it needs our homage, but because it is there. Because we are. Some people say we ought to show life how to be lived. It's what we make it. You know? I don't know what we can do. There isn't a way. Some things are there, though. We have to say that. The mind's limitations are its freedom. The mind has a power which is unusable. And this is its real power. What else but the mind senses the final uselessness of the mind? How foolish we were, how smaller than what we are. Were we to believe what the mind makes of what it meets? Whatever the mind makes is not. You know, there are always messages we find in bed, on the street, or anywhere. And the mind invents a translation, almost plausible. But it hasn't any knowledge of the language at all. Sometimes the translations are cryptic in themselves. I read them in wonderment. It is a wonderment not usable. What could it all mean? The mind does this. I stand in awe of the mind. The ignorant lust after knowledge. I come in from the canal. I don't know anything. It is well and good to ask what we need to know, as if it were all, as if we didn't need. Well, I need. I may never know anything, but I need. One sees desire not as something to satisfy, but to live with. A light this side of the hills toward Argyle flowed like fog through the hollows, rose to the depth of the hills, illumined me. I faded in it as the world faded in me, dissolved in the light. No one to know and nothing knowable. Oh, we know that knowing is not our way, but the choice ours would make it our way, would leave the world for the same world made knowable. Morning greetings exchanged. A bird, as I went by the bare vine on Thompson's wall, made cheaps of the world, at me, to itself, however they do, whatever they mean. I think they don't mean anything. Sorry if they do, because I suppose that they're wrong, but if right, who hears them? Other birds. This makes them equivalent creatures like us. Welcome, bird, I say, with presumptive stance, as if I were here first, as this I, this bird. I suppose I probably was. But birds, maybe this kind, are older than me, older than men, and birds are bird, men are man, anonymous. Neither makes event or a history. We say we do. Cheap. Love as a great power. It seems there is almost nothing but it could do. Stop wars, make ugliness beautiful, injustice level, hungriness full, or fullness hungry. A force that changes things. Can we say that wide is broad, extension length, or anything itself after the change? That there is a nature of things, a reality, and we yield to it. Give ourselves over as though a name were called and it were our name, and we call out another, and here the answer come. And then it goes. Incredible. It leaves us. We're left unexpectedly nothing. We listen. Have nothing to call. We wonder how we could ever have used that name. Now we are not. Love is a great power. Do-si-do. We aren't face to face. What is there to hide? Nothing. The trouble is there's nothing to hide. Is there something to keep? We haven't kept. My face was open to you. You looked at it. I looked in your open face. What there is, I saw. Don't look now. Nothing is hidden there. Turn your back away. Go round, go round. Gent, go. What did you see when you looked at me? Gent, go round the lady, and lady, go round the gent. Mirror my emptiness as you found it there. Then in the empty mirror, mirror me. Let the mirror be covered, as in the house of the dead. Back off, perform our figures at will. Gent, go round the lady, and lady, go round the gent. His poems. To say I only listen isn't true, but neither is it conversation, really. In the end, whatever is said is theirs. If I hold back, their stubborn assurance, their patience waits for me. It might be a long wait, apart from the times I fight them. There are times I wasn't even wrong. I discover later what they said, or prompted by that, I look for other things they maybe could say. There are some they hold back, answers I want to questions that would do me no good to ask, and I don't, not really. But I want to know, are the answers there? Alone, sometimes I remember how certain things were said. That's what we were talking about. And the statement was made that, and then, oh, yes. The fiction of shape. Form is desire, to say, I want, though not to remark the form or to say the form is the one. The form is a tool to tell, an abstract of not itself, but of that desire it tells about. We look to believe. If the form says want, we want the form. It says be, it is as if the form were all our being, as if it were everything there. Belief is to think the want is in the form. I am the unbeliever, lover of form, the vector of empty spaces, fiction of shape. It is as it, daft with desire, deft with it, aloft, afloat. In the end is the want still and only the want, done then with the doing and the form done. Well, let's try something else. Here is a silence. It is everywhere. Because it has always been, there's no time. No need then to wait for the time. It comes always in the sense it was always here. Noise is here, but never any sound. We listen for sound. It is as if we were deaf. Under the noise, silence is what we hear. Final, always, wherever. Silence is all. Grass, I thought to keep you would have stayed, and you, trees, water, gone too. Utterances. There are no near galaxies. This, as far as any, if not in terms of miles, we know how meaningless miles are in terms of miles. How far from me to you? Everything is almost in the utterance metaphor. As we measure miles, and miles are meaningless, but we know what distance is, unmeasurable. but there are distances. The unbecoming of wanted and wanter. It is hard to let go of the world, even though we know there is nothing to hold to, and we have no hands for the tenuous holding. Where it seems they may grip, there is neither hand nor tangible burden, no hold. We make out there is something lost in the letting go. What loss? What loser? Want invented them. Want says the loss is real. Want is real. It is hard when we do not say what want wants. The limits of knowledge, the unpurposive lights in the sky at night, far from telling us what purpose is, as say, there's no purpose, as may perhaps be so. Say only how we don't know what it is. But Venus tonight was beautiful in the west. If I wake toward morning, as many times I do, and look in the east, Vega will be there. What certainties are these? We don't know. The Defense of Posey. We can't think of any reason to do what we do, as now, for example, to say this. How can need make terms with no need? Needlessly, we say what we need to say. It asks whatever we have for no use. Nothing has changed. Things stay the same. Similarly, I put my hands on you as if it mattered at all. I want to. The lover as not the loved. What am I then? Because in a sense I am, though clearly not. Compared to what there is, there could never be comparison, because I am wholly absorbed in it, am nothing more. Something other, though. Something apart. A feeling instrument. How else? Tonight in April I stood on the bridge by the T in the late, faint light, worshiping. Where it ends, the gentleness of the slant October light cancels whatever else we might have thought. It is a hard world, empty and cool, But this light, oh, Jesus Christ, this light. The maple leaves, passive in front of the house, are laved in it, abandoned, green gone, that nothing else should matter but this light. Gentleness, gentleness, the light. The touch. My hands explore your touch, as though your touch were reality, and they explained it. Slow to learn, they ask it to be explained again, or as though they were not quite sure of the reality they meant to explain. Here, they say, and this also, this. Oh, the reality is this. To explain is possible. Touch me. I touch you. And then I cut out 4 lines and got down to 4 lines only. For any speakers. O God, who in the night quiet called Samuel to you, call us then too. And in the day noise, call that, hearing you, we may more plainly say the nameless name. The lullaby. How, world, in your heart, that certainty always to bear, be born, never to fail. Hearing the wind, I hear the world's wail. Let me go sleep on it, sing, sing. The deprived. Deprivation is to be driven as Eve and her Adam were from the garden, amazed how far the unexpected world goes. The opening out. It is hard to live here. The world. I thought that you were an anchor in the drift of the world, but no, there isn't an anchor anywhere. There isn't an anchor in the drift of the world. Oh no, I thought you were. Oh no, the drift of the world. Pride, which goes not only before but behind and probably sideways too. There is no one and nothing to defy, so it has to be myself that I stand up against. I stretch my back at. God damn you, I won't. God damn you, I won't. To be a saint like Christopher. People carry another around on themselves. They don't even know it. We see it there, I think we do. When we go after it, they think we mean them. So do we for a while. On seeing two friends together. No doubt there is a truth which might be called what it isn't, the bliss of God. No doubt there are those who have it. I envy them. God help us.
Boil balls.